So what record are you going to break this year?
Everyone, I guess. Everyone's a new one, I guess, right?
The big records.
You know, I just want to see how far we can go this year. That's the whole reason why I wanted to come back this year, is to kind of take off where or start up where we left off last year and see how far we can go. I think we're going to have a real good team this year. We got, you know, everybody's back in here working their butts off. Everybody's got a great attitude, and you know, if Chris's draft choices are anything like they were last year, we should be stacked up pretty good.
Adam, besides the team goal, which I think for you is pretty obvious every year, is there an individual mark after getting the field goal and the point record that you kind of have on your list?
Yeah, honestly, you know, for me, my goals are to make every kick every year to help my team put as many points on the board and score as many points and help our team win. So that never changes. My goals are always the same. Very, very seldomly do you go your whole year or whatever without having a hiccup at some point. But yeah, for me, it's all about helping my team win games. You know, I don't think I've really ever been selfishly about own records and goals. They just kind of happen if you're around long enough and if you do your job. So this won't change at all. I'm just trying to be a good leader and to be a good role model and help some of the younger guys to, you know, we'll have a lot of young guys again this year, you know, some new guys. And as soon as we get everybody to a certain level, Colt standards, if you will, or, you know, get the young guys up to par on special teams and kind of help lead that way, you know, I think we'll be in good shape.
Hey, Adam, when you approach the offseason now, considering where the point you are in your career and also your age, does anything change as far as, you know, when you resume working out or the number of days you work out?
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, this year I didn't take a lot of time off at all. I haven't. Like, I think every year, the older you get, you can't get as far away. You can't take as much time off because it's harder to get back. So you have to be able to clear your mind and spend family time or do your own thing. But I was in the facilities most of the off season, you know, at least a few days a week, just to kind of not get too far gone. So I'm like always, but I'm really trying to lean down and stay healthy and get stronger and get more flexible and all the little stuff that usually starts to slip away as you get older. I'm trying to fight Father Time and not just fight that, but actually get better than I was a year ago or 2 years ago.
Roughly about how many weeks after that playoff game did you take off, or was it even a couple of weeks?
About 2 weeks, and then I came back in. Now, I'm not going to say that I was like full speed, a million miles an hour, you know, in season form by any means. You kind of build back into it, but some extra cardio and just, you know, not let yourself slip too far, you know.
Is that something you sort of learned on your own? It's not like there's people to draw from on how to approach this point of your career.
Well, I've watched some of the older guys that have done it in the past. You know, John Carney is one of those guys that I always looked at. He was always super fit, really kept his body in good shape, and played well into his 40s. To reference a guy that nobody in this building probably likes, but Bill Belichick always said the older you get, the lighter you should play. Your playing weight, you should be just to keep your speed and keep your explosivity, you know, explosiveness and all that stuff. So I guess for me, a kicking position might be a little bit different, but I do think if you're putting on a bunch of extra weight and stuff, you lose some flexibility, and that's important. It's important for everybody, but for punting and kicking and keeping your range of motion and stuff is important.
Has that changed much? Let's say your 10th year in New England, what you weighed?
I've been roughly the same my entire career. I mean, I haven't fluctuated too much. It's body composition that you got to worry about the most. It's not weight. They care a heck of a lot less if I'm 180 pounds or 220. It's all about body composition.
After that Kansas City game, you didn't see how you felt, how your body felt, and get some things dealt with maybe. Just how you feel now, refreshed, you feel, in comparison to maybe where you've been the last few years?
Yeah, I feel good. You know, it's you know, whenever a season comes to an end, there's lots of different emotions. The roller coaster of how many games we won, you know, 10 out of 11 to even get there. We're all riding on a high, and then it comes to an abrupt halt, and then you just sit there and it takes you a little while to decompress and kind of get your mind right and figure out, you know, but it, you know, flying home on the airplane, it's one of those after the game, you know, it's a crappy feeling that you know that the season's over and you're cleaning out your locker and you're watching other people playing for a trophy that we wanted to have and we didn't quite get there, kind of thing. So I knew right away. I mean, I said I needed some, but I knew in the back of my mind that I wasn't gonna. I wanted to come back and keep going.
I remember, speaking of the Kansas City game, I mean, for obvious reasons, you were upset over the short field goal before the half and stuff. How long does it take to get over something like that? I mean, or you like, you know what?
I remember most of my misses a lot longer than I ever remember most of my makes. So that's one that could have helped the team. Would we have won? Would we? I mean, it was a crazy game all the way around. But my job is to put points on the board every single time I step out there, and I didn't do that. And momentum and all that stuff at the going in at half, that didn't help. So I still think about it.
Sorry.
No, you're good. No, that's what I honestly, I think that for all of us, I mean, you can bask in your glory when things go good, but I think you learn the most and you get that much better after a bad moment. It motivates you to get better.
Adam, you mentioned kind of picking up where you left off, like after last season for this season. With an off-season that was relatively quiet in terms of, not a ton of turnover, not a head coaching change, no major injuries to your quarterback, how much farther ahead can you realistically start a season when you are able to have that much consistency one season to the next?
Well, I'm excited. Honestly, when you get a new coaching staff, you change the offense and the defense. You've got the staff is different, the plays are different, everything about it. I know just in our small role at special teams, all the techniques are different, the calls are different, everything's different. So everybody's relearning a new program, a new system, and I think that was the way it was, offense, defense, and special teams. But I think everybody that's in the building thus far, and with the exception of a couple of free agents that we've picked up, have a year under their belt. They know what's going on. I know, we even talked about in our special teams meeting just the specialists and the coaches. They said, I'm excited because the majority of the guys already know our techniques. They know what they're supposed to do. Everything, nothing's going to be brand new. So now we have to get, a dozen or 24 people up to speed rather than 75 guys. So I'm assuming, and assuming is a bad word, but I'm thinking that most guys will be ahead of the game going into training camp. Hopefully we can start off a lot faster because we won't have those growing pains.
I know the draft picks aren't here yet, but it seemed like a high character emphasis was there again this draft. How much have you noticed that in the Ballard tenure of a huge emphasis on what that locker room is all about?
Absolutely. I think that's probably the one thing that I respect the most about Chris Ballard is not only that he's got an eye for football players and he can find guys that are good players, but he finds guys that are good for the locker room to build a culture around here. It's like it was a decade ago. We had lots of really good guys that really liked to work together and loved each other as teammates and stuff, and really wanted to exceed and excel for each other. Chris is bringing a lot of those guys, every one of those guys. I mean, I feel like our locker room is just full of really good guys. I don't know any bad seed in there, and some teams at times have that, and it starts to fester a little bit and can divide your team, and I think that's the first thing that they look at, even above and beyond can they play football, but are they good character guys that can help this locker room be a tight-knit group of guys, because if everybody gets along and plays well together, we're going to win games.
That how important is it to set that standard early on, especially when you get these new faces into the building this weekend?
Well, we've already done it. I mean, it's day one of the first day of off season, phase 1 2 weeks ago. That was one of those, hey, it's great to see everybody here. I know it's voluntary, but you're showing the commitment, having the participation that we've got in guys that are all here, and I'm watching everybody work their butts off. I mean, they're working hard in there, and no complaining, just get to work. And I think that standard is already high from all of last year's work, and I think the young guys are going to look around and see that standard already there, and they're going to just know, hey, I've got to get to that level. This is what's expected out of me. It doesn't even need to be said. I mean, if it needs to be said, it will be said, but I don't think it's going to need to be said. I think guys are going to come in, they're going to prove that they're going to prove that they're a part of this team and that they deserve to be here, and I think that competition's great because it escalates the rest of the pressure and everything. I think it's going to be a good. I think it's going to be a good off season and good season.
What did you think of your Holder announcing the pick the other night?
It's pretty funny. That's pretty good. I thought Reggie's first one was uncharacteristic for Reggie because I was like, okay, and then when McAfee, does his little walk out there, I go, oh, this is going to be unbelievable. So I watched it about 8 or 10 times, laughed, retweeted it to make sure everybody that didn't see it got a chance if they hadn't already. So entertaining for sure.